The gate agent scanned my boarding pass for the third time this month. Hawaii. One way, again. I watched her eyes flicker to my age on the screen. 72. Flying alone. No return date. She smiled that careful smile people give old women traveling solo. Visiting family? No, I said. Leaving them. Her smile froze. I picked up my carry-on and walked toward the jet bridge. My phone buzzed in my purse. Bryn, again, 47th call this week. I let it go to voicemail. Let it join the other 46 messages I hadn't listened to. The Hawaiian air hit me like a warm towel when I stepped off the plane in Maui. Salt and plumeria, freedom and distance. 3,000 miles between me and the daughter who wanted me gone. So I left, but not before I paid off their mortgage. Not before I changed my will. Not before I left something on her desk that would destroy everything she thought she knew about her mother. Hi, viewers. Kindly tell us where you're watching from and what time it is. The letter sat in a manila envelope on Bryn's home office desk. I'd placed it there myself 3 days ago, while she and Cade were at the movies. Used the key she gave me years back. The key she probably forgot I had. Inside that envelope was a single sheet of paper. On that paper, I'd written the truth about what happens when you tell your mother the best gift she could give you is to disappear. I gave her exactly what she asked for. The woman in the seat next to me on the plane kept glancing over. I must have looked strange. Old lady, flying alone, smiling. First time in Hawaii? She asked. Third time this month. Her eyebrows went up. I live there now, I said. Oh, how wonderful. Do you have family there? No, that's why I moved. She didn't ask anything else after that. I closed my eyes and let myself remember. Not the good parts, the real parts. My name is Felicity Moreland. I'm 72 years old. I was a nurse for 43 years, worked every holiday, every double shift, every overtime hour they offered. Not because I loved it, because my daughter needed college paid for, needed a wedding, needed a house, needed her mother gone. The plane touched down, I grabbed my bag, walked out into the sun. My phone buzzed again. Bryn, I turned it off. Because 3 days ago she'd found the letter, and by now she knew what I'd done. The mortgage I paid, the will I changed, the insurance policy I redirected, the mother who vanished. And she had no idea where I was. The turkey smelled like rosemary and butter and lies. I stood in Bryn's kitchen holding a glass casserole dish, green bean almondine, her favorite. I'd made it every Thanksgiving since she was 7. Voices drifted from the dining room. Bryn, Cade, laughing about something. I started toward them, then stopped. She's always here, Bryn said. Her voice cut through the laughter. Every holiday, every weekend. I can't even breathe in my own house. My hands tightened on the dish. Babe, she bought us this house. Cade's voice dropped lower. We can't just... I don't care what she bought us. Bryn's words came out sharp, fast. The best gift she could give me is to be gone. Just gone. The casserole dish slipped. I caught it. Barely. My daughter. My only child. The girl I'd raised alone after her father walked out. The girl whose college loans I paid. Whose wedding I funded. Whose mortgage I cleared. She wanted me gone. I set the dish on the counter, walked into the dining room, smiled like my chest wasn't caving in. Dinner smells wonderful, honey. Bryn's face went white, then red. She knew I'd heard. I didn't stay, told them I felt sick, drove home with my hands shaking so hard I had to pull over twice. That night, I sat at my kitchen table. The house felt enormous and empty. 4 bedrooms, 3 bathrooms. I'd bought it 5 years ago. Imagined Bryn visiting every weekend. Imagined grandchildren running through the halls. Imagined family dinners and birthday parties and Christmas mornings. I'd imagined wrong. She visited twice that first year, once the next. This year, only holidays. Only because I hosted. Only because I begged. And she wanted me gone. I opened my laptop, stared at the screen. My bank account showed $407,000. Life savings, inheritance from my mother, money I'd planned to split with Bryn someday, money I'd planned to use for my care when I got too old. I pulled up the mortgage company website. logged into the account I still had access to from last year when I paid off Bryn's first mortgage. She'd refinanced, taken out a new loan, $62,000. I stared at that number for 2 hours. Then I clicked Pay in Full. Confirmation screen appeared. I entered my bank information, clicked Submit. $62,000, gone, just like she wanted me to be. But I wasn't finished. I opened a new document, started typing. Dear Bryn, you said the best gift I could give you is to be gone. My fingers hovered over the keys. Tears dripped onto my wrists. So that's what I'm doing. I kept typing. Every word felt like pulling glass from my chest. When I finished, I printed 2 copies. One for Bryn, one for my lawyer. The sun came up while I sat there. Orange light through the kitchen window. Birds singing. The world kept moving like my daughter hadn't just told me to disappear from her life. I picked up the phone, called Roderick Chang, my attorney for 20 years. Felicity, it's 6 in the morning. I need to change my will. Silence. Today, I added. What happened? I'm removing Bryn. All of it. Life insurance, estate, everything. More silence. Roderick, are you there? I'm here, just... Are you sure? This is permanent. Once we do this, I'm sure. What about the house, your assets? Where does it go? Charity. Set up a trust for my end-of-life care. Everything else goes to St. Jude's. He exhaled slowly. Felicity. People say things they don't mean. Maybe you should... She meant it. I heard him shuffling papers, clicking a pen. Okay, come to my office at 9. We'll drop the documents. I hung up, looked at the letter on the table, then I looked at the casserole dish I'd brought home. Still sitting on my counter, still warm. I dumped it in the trash. Roderick's office smelled like old books and coffee. He sat across from me with a stack of papers, his reading glasses perched on his nose. He looked older than I remembered. Or maybe I just looked older to him. Last chance to change your mind, he said. I'm not changing it. He slid the first document across the desk. This removes Bryn as beneficiary from your life insurance policy. $250,000 will now go to St. Jude's Children's Hospital upon your death. I signed. He slid the next paper over. This is your new will. Your house, your remaining assets, everything goes into a charitable trust. Bryn inherits nothing. I signed. This one establishes a private trust for your medical care. Nursing home costs, end-of-life expenses, it's irrevocable. Can't be changed later. I signed. He stacked the papers, tapped them against the desk, looked at me over his glasses. You know she's going to find out. I want her to find out. This will devastate her. Good. He flinched. I stood up, gathered my purse. How long until these take effect? They're effective immediately. I'll file them today. Thank you. I walked toward the door. Felicity. I stopped, didn't turn around. For what it's worth, he said quietly, I think you're one of the strongest women I've ever met. And I think Bryn doesn't deserve you. My throat tightened. She doesn't want me. So now she won't have me. I left his office, drove to the bank, withdrew $5,000 in cash, went home and booked a one-way ticket to Maui, left in 2 days. I spent that evening packing, 2 suitcases, summer clothes, sandals, sunscreen, left the winter coats hanging in the closet, left the photo albums on the shelf, left the Christmas decorations in boxes in the basement, left everything that reminded me I'd been a mother, because mothers are supposed to be wanted. Loved, welcomed. I was none of those things. The next day I went to the post office, mailed a letter to my neighbors asking them to check on the house, mailed another to my doctor closing my patient file, mailed another to the utility company setting up autopay. Erasing myself took less time than I expected. That night, I couldn't sleep. I kept thinking about Bryn as a little girl, how she'd climb into my bed during thunderstorms, how she'd hold my hand crossing the street, how she'd whisper, "I love you, Mama," every night before bed. When did that stop? When did I become someone she wanted gone? I got up, made tea, sat on the back porch. The garden I'd spent 5 years building stretched out in the moonlight. Roses, lavender, tomatoes, herbs. I'd imagined teaching grandchildren to garden here. Imagined little hands digging in the dirt. Imagined passing down my mother's recipes and my grandmother's stories. Imagined wrong. At midnight, I drove to Bryn's house, parked down the street, watched the windows, dark. They were asleep. I used my key, slipped inside. The house smelled like vanilla candles and the Thai food they'd had for dinner. I walked upstairs, down the hall, into her home office, set the manila envelope on her desk, right next to her laptop, right where she'd see it first thing in the morning. My hand shook as I pulled it back. This was it. The moment I became the kind of mother who leaves, who disappears, who chooses herself. I walked back downstairs, locked the door behind me, drove home. At 4 in the morning, I left for the airport, didn't look back. The plane lifted off at 6:30 p.m. I watched my city shrink below me. 43 years in that place. Every street corner held a memory. The hospital where I worked, the park where I pushed Bryn on swings, the grocery store where I bought her favorite cereal every week, all of it disappearing into clouds. The woman next to me ordered a Bloody Mary at 6:45 in the morning. Vacation? She asked. New life. She raised her glass. Cheers to that. I didn't tell her I was 72, didn't tell her I was running from my daughter, didn't tell her I'd just erased my only child from my will and vanished. Some things don't fit into small talk. 12 hours later, I landed in Maui, stepped into air that smelled like flowers and ocean and starting over. I'd rented a condo online, 1 bedroom, Kihei, ocean view, month-to-month lease. The Uber driver helped me with my bags. Visiting family? No, I live here now. Oh yeah? You pick a good place. Paradise. Paradise. Maybe. Or just 3,000 miles from the person who wanted me gone. The condo was small, clean. A sliding glass door opened onto a balcony overlooking the water. I stood there for an hour watching waves crash against black rocks. My phone sat in my purse. Still off. I wondered if Bryn had found the letter yet. Wondered if she'd read it. Wondered if she cared. Probably not. That night, I unpacked, hung my clothes in the closet, set my toiletries in the bathroom, made the bed with sheets that smelled like lavender detergent. Everything fit in one room, my whole life. 2 suitcases and a purse. I'd left behind a 4-bedroom house, a garden, a lifetime of memories, a daughter. But I'd kept myself. The next morning, I walked on the beach. The sand felt cool and damp under my bare feet. The sun came up orange and huge over the water. Couples jogged past me. Families built sandcastles. Everyone looked happy. I wondered if I looked happy. I wondered if I'd ever be happy again. A woman about my age sat on a bench watching the ocean. Silver hair, tan skin. She smiled when I walked past. Beautiful morning, she said. It is. First time in Maui? Yes. You'll love it. I've been coming here for 30 years, finally moved here last month. Me too, just moved here. Her eyes lit up. Really? Where from? East Coast? Family out here? No, that's why I came. She laughed. I like you already. I'm Greta. Felicity. We shook hands. Hers felt warm and strong. You running from someone or towards something? She asked. Both, neither. I don't know yet. She nodded like that made perfect sense. Want to grab coffee sometime? I'd like that. We exchanged numbers, made plans for the next day. When I got back to the condo, I finally turned on my phone. 43 missed calls. 67 text messages, 21 voicemails, all from Bryn. I sat on the balcony, stared at the screen. My finger hovered over the voicemail button. Did I want to hear her voice? Did I want to hear her beg, cry, apologize? Did any of it matter? She'd wanted me gone. So I left. I deleted all the voicemails without listening, blocked her number, changed my voicemail message to, "You've reached Felicity. I'm unavailable indefinitely. Don't leave a message." Then I threw my phone on the bed and went back to the beach. The water felt cold against my ankles. The waves pushed and pulled, pushed and pulled. I stood there until the sun set, until the beach emptied, until I couldn't feel my feet anymore. Then I went home, made tea, sat on the balcony. And for the first time in 72 years, I had absolutely no one depending on me. It felt terrifying. It felt like freedom. 3 days later, Roderick called. I'd given him my new number before I left, just in case. "She's been trying to reach you," he said. "I know." "Felicity, she's frantic. She came to my office. She's crying. What does she want? To find you, to talk to you?" "She says she didn't mean it." "She meant it." Silence. "She found out about the mortgage," he said. By now, "Good. And the will. And the insurance." My stomach clenched. "How?" "I don't know. Maybe the bank sent paperwork. Maybe she went through your files. Either way, she knows." "What did she say?" He hesitated. "She said you're punishing her." I laughed. It came out bitter. "I paid off her house." "How is that punishment?" "She says you did it to make her feel guilty." "I did it because I'm her mother. Because even when she doesn't want me, I still want her safe." "She doesn't see it that way." "I don't care how she sees it." "Felicity, don't tell her where I am." "I won't. But you should know. She's not okay." "Neither am I." I hung up. That night, I met Greta for dinner at a small restaurant near the water. We sat outside under string lights, ordered fish tacos and Mai Tais. "You look troubled," she said. "Family stuff." "The kind you ran from?" "Yeah." She nodded, took a sip of her drink. "I have 3 daughters, all married, all busy. I love them, but they don't need me anymore. And I had to learn that's okay." "How long did it take?" "To learn it? 10 years. To accept it? I'm still working on that." "Does it get easier?" "Some days." She looked at me. "What happened? If you want to talk about it." I told her, all of it. The Thanksgiving comment, the mortgage, the will, the letter, the disappearance. She listened without interrupting. When I finished, she set down her glass. "Do you regret it?" "I don't know. I miss her, but I'm so angry." "You can be both." "Can I?" "Of course. Love and anger aren't opposites. Indifference is the opposite of love. And you're not indifferent." I looked at my hands. "She wanted me gone, so I left, but now I'm the bad guy." "You're not the bad guy. You're just done being the only one who tries." Something in my chest loosened. We finished dinner, walked along the beach. Greta told me about a book club that met every Thursday, a yoga class on the beach every morning, a group of women who called themselves the Second Act Club. "Women like us," she said. "Starting over. Finding ourselves. You should come." "Maybe I will." When I got home, my phone had 3 new voicemails. I'd unblocked Bryn's number by accident when I reset my settings. I stared at the notifications, pushed play. "Mom, please, I'm so sorry. I didn't mean it. Please just call me back, please." Her voice cracked. She was crying. Next message. Mom, I know you're angry. I know I hurt you, but please don't do this. Don't disappear. I need you. Next message. Mom, I found the letter. I know what you did. The house, the will, everything. I don't care about the money. I just want you back. Please. I saved the messages. Didn't respond. Because wanting someone when you need something isn't the same as wanting them when you don't. Roderick called again 5 days later. She won't stop, he said. She's called my office 23 times. She's desperate. Then she knows how I felt for the last 5 years. Felicity, she's your daughter. And I'm her mother. That should have mattered before now. What do you want me to tell her? Nothing. Tell her nothing. I hung up, turned off my phone, left it in a drawer. That Thursday, I went to the second act club meeting. 5 women, all between 60 and 75, all living in Maui alone, all starting over. Greta introduced me. This is Felicity. She just moved here from the East Coast. A woman with dark skin and braided gray hair smiled. Welcome, I'm Paloma, moved here from Chicago 3 months ago. Another woman, thin and pale with bright blue eyes, waved. Shira, New York, 6 months? We sat in a circle on someone's lanai, drank wine, ate cheese and crackers. So, what's your story? Paloma asked me. I told them, the short version. Daughter wanted me gone, so I left. They nodded like they'd heard versions of this before. My son hasn't called me in 2 years, Shira said. I raised him alone. Put him through law school. He got married and forgot I existed. My daughter only calls when she needs money, another woman said. Mine put me in a nursing home and sold my house, Paloma added. I checked myself out and moved here. We all laughed, but it wasn't funny. Do you regret leaving? I asked them. Every day, Shira said. Never, Paloma said. Both, said another. Greta raised her glass. To knowing our worth. We all drank. That night I went home feeling less alone. These women understood. They'd all been mothers who gave everything. They'd all been discarded. They'd all chosen themselves. I wasn't a bad person. I was just done. The next week passed in a blur of beach walks and book club meetings and hula lessons. I signed up for everything. Kept myself busy. Kept myself from thinking about Bryn. It worked. Mostly. But at night, I'd lie in bed and hear her voice. I need you, Mom. And I'd wonder if I was being cruel. If I should forgive her, if this was all a mistake, then I'd remember her words. The best gift she could give me is to be gone. And I'd roll over and go to sleep. 2 weeks after I left, Roderick called my new number. She stopped calling, he said. My heart dropped. What? Bryn. She hasn't called my office in 4 days. Thought you should know. Oh. Silence. Felicity, you okay? Yeah, fine. Thanks for telling me. I hung up. She'd stopped trying. I should have felt relief. Victory, peace. Instead, I felt empty. That night, I sat on the balcony with a glass of wine. Watched the ocean turn dark. Listened to the waves crash. She'd given up on me. Just like I'd given up on her. We were even now. So why did it feel like I'd lost? Paloma's words echoed in my head. Love and anger aren't opposites. Indifference is the opposite of love. Bryn had stopped calling, stopped trying. Had she become indifferent? Or had I? I went to bed without answers. The next morning, I walked on the beach at sunrise. The sky turned pink and gold. The water sparkled. Everything looked beautiful and wrong. A little girl ran past me chasing a ball. Her grandmother chased after her, laughing. They collapsed in the sand together, giggling. I turned away, went back to the condo, Pulled my phone from the drawer, turned it on. No new messages. She really had stopped. I opened my photos, scrolled back through years. Bryn as a baby. As a toddler, first day of school, high school graduation, wedding day, every photo, I was there, smiling, proud, loving her. When did that stop being enough? I closed the photos, put the phone back in the drawer. If she didn't want me, then I didn't want her, except I did. And that was the problem. The package arrived 3 weeks after I'd left. Small, brown paper, no return address. The woman at the front desk of my condo building handed it to me. This came for you. I carried it upstairs, set it on the kitchen counter, stared at it for 20 minutes. The handwriting on the label was Bryn's. My hands shook as I opened it. Inside, a shoebox. Inside the shoebox, photographs. Me holding Bryn as a newborn. Her first birthday, first day of kindergarten, every school play, every dance recital, every moment I thought she'd forgotten. At the bottom of the box, a letter. I sat down, unfolded it, read. Mom, I don't know where you are, I don't know if you'll even get this, but I had to try. I found these photos in my closet. I've kept them all these years, every single one, because you were there for every single moment that mattered. I know what I said. I know I can't take it back. I was angry and stressed, and I took it out on you. That doesn't make it okay. Nothing makes it okay. But I need you to know, I didn't mean it. I've been trying to get pregnant for 3 years. 3 years of negative tests and doctor appointments and Kate and me fighting about money and stress and everything. I felt like I was failing, like I couldn't do anything right. And you were always there trying to help, and it made me feel worse, like I needed my mommy to fix my life. So I lashed out. I said the worst thing I could think of. I wanted to hurt you because I was hurting. I'm sorry. I found out 2 days after you left that I'm pregnant, finally, after 3 years. And the first person I wanted to tell was you, but you were gone. I don't blame you for leaving. I don't blame you for the will or the insurance or any of it. I deserve it. But I'm asking, begging for forgiveness. I don't need your money. I don't need you to fix my life. I just need my mom. Please. Bryn. Tucked inside the letter, an ultrasound photo, 8 weeks. Tiny blob of white on black background. My grandchild. I sat at the counter, read the letter 3 more times, looked at the ultrasound, looked at the photos, cried until I couldn't breathe. She was pregnant. She was sorry. She wanted me back. But did that fix anything? Did one apology erase 5 years of being unwanted? Did a pregnancy suddenly make me matter? I didn't know. I put everything back in the box. Set it on the table. Went to bed. Didn't sleep. The next morning I called Greta. Can we talk? Of course, coffee? We met at our usual spot, sat outside. I showed her the letter, the ultrasound. She read everything, set it down, looked at me. What do you want to do? I don't know. Do you want to forgive her? I don't know. Do you want to meet your grandchild? Yes, but I'm still so angry. She nodded. You're allowed to be angry and still love her. Am I allowed to stay here? To not go back? Of course. Even if she's pregnant? Especially if she's pregnant. You don't owe anyone your presence just because they need something from you. I started crying again. But she's my daughter. And you're a person. You matter too. We sat there for an hour, didn't solve anything. But I felt less alone. That night, I pulled out stationery, started writing. Dear Bryn, I got your letter and the photos and the ultrasound. Congratulations, I'm happy for you. My pen hovered over the paper. What came next? I forgive you? I'm coming home? Let's start over? None of it felt true. I crumpled the paper, started again. Dear Bryn, I got your letter. I'm glad you're pregnant. I'm glad you're happy. I'm glad you're sorry. but I'm not ready to come back. You said the best gift I could give you was to be gone. So I left, and I'm still gone. Maybe someday that will change, but not today. I hope you understand. Mom, I sealed it, addressed it, walked to the post office, mailed it before I could change my mind. Then I went home, sat on the balcony, watched the sunset. My daughter was pregnant, my first grandchild, and I was 3,000 miles away, by choice. I didn't know if that made me strong or selfish. Maybe both. 2 months passed. Bryn didn't respond to my letter, didn't call, didn't text. She'd given up, for real this time. I told myself I was okay with it, told myself I'd made my choice, told myself I was happy. Some days, I believed it. I joined a pottery class, learned to make bowls and mugs. My hands stayed busy, my mind stayed quiet. The Second Act Club met every Thursday. We talked about books and life and the families we'd left behind. Nobody judged, nobody pushed. Greta became my best friend. We walked on the beach every morning, had lunch twice a week, celebrated our birthdays together. I built a life. A small one, a quiet one. But it was mine. Then 4 months after I'd left, my phone rang. Unknown number. I almost didn't answer, but something made me pick up. Hello? Felicity, it's Cade. I froze. I know you don't want to hear from us. I know Bryn hurt you. But I'm calling because she's in the hospital. My stomach dropped. What happened? She's okay. The baby's okay. But she had a scare, bleeding. They're monitoring her. She's on bed rest for the next month. Okay. Silence. She keeps asking for you, he said quietly. Cade, I'm not asking you to come back. I'm not asking you to forgive her. I'm just telling you. She's scared. And she wants her mom. I closed my eyes. Is she going to be okay? Doctors say yes, but it's high risk now. She can't work. Can't do anything. Just lie in bed and wait. Okay. Okay. Thank you for telling me. Yeah, take care. Felicity. He hung up. I sat on the balcony, stared at the ocean. Bryn was in the hospital. The baby was at risk. She was scared. And she wanted me. But did that change anything? Did her needing me mean I should go back? Did one emergency erase everything else? I called Greta. She's in the hospital. Greta came over, sat with me, let me talk. I don't know what to do, I said. What do you want to do? I want to go back, but I also don't want to go back. I want her to be okay, but I don't want to be used. Then don't go back. Send flowers, send a card, but don't go back unless you want to. What if something happens to her? What if something happens to you while you're killing yourself trying to fix her life? I didn't have an answer. That night I ordered flowers, had them delivered to the hospital. Included a card. Thinking of you. Stay strong. Mom. It felt like enough, and not enough, but it was all I could give. 3 weeks later, Roderick called. She had the baby. What? Early, 34 weeks, but healthy, a girl, 5 pounds, 2 ounces. My hands shook. Are they okay? Yes, both fine. Baby's in NICU for monitoring, but she's strong. I couldn't breathe. What's her name? Haven't named her yet. Bryn wanted to wait. Wanted to... He trailed off. Wanted to what? Wanted to ask you first. Tears dripped down my face, my granddaughter. Born early, unnamed. Waiting for me. Felicity, what do you want me to tell her? Tell her congratulations. That's it? That's it. I hung up, sat on the floor, cried until my chest ached. I had a granddaughter. And I'd never met her. The next morning, I booked a flight home, not forever. Just to visit, just to meet her, because blood mattered, family mattered, even when it hurt. Greta drove me to the airport. You coming back? She asked. I don't know. That's okay. You don't have to know. I hugged her. Thank you. For what? For reminding me I matter. She smiled. You do. Don't forget that. The flight felt longer than it had 4 months ago. Every minute dragged. I landed at 6 in the morning, took an Uber to the hospital, walked through the sliding doors, took the elevator to the fourth floor, maternity ward, found Bryn's room, stood outside the door. My hand shook as I knocked. Come in, Bryn's voice called. I opened the door. She sat in the bed, hair messy, eyes tired, holding a tiny bundle wrapped in pink. She looked up, saw me, started crying. Mom. I walked to the bed, looked down at the baby, perfect, tiny, sleeping. She's beautiful, I whispered. Do you want to hold her? I nodded. Bryn placed her in my arms. She weighed nothing, smelled like soap and milk. I looked at my granddaughter, at her tiny fingers, her perfect face, and I understood. This was why I came back. Not for Bryn, not for forgiveness, for this tiny person who didn't ask to be born into a broken family, who deserved a grandmother, who deserved love. We haven't named her yet, Bryn said quietly. I wanted to ask you. Ask me what? What was your mother's name? I looked at her. Iris? Can we name her Iris? My throat closed. I nodded. Bryn smiled. Iris Moreland Carter. I looked down at the baby, at Iris, at my granddaughter. Hi, Iris, I whispered. I'm your grandma. She yawned, stretched her tiny fingers. And I knew I'd made the right choice. Not to stay forever, not to forgive everything, but to be here for her, because some things mattered more than being right. Some things mattered more than being hurt. Some things just mattered. I stayed for 2 weeks, helped Bryn bring Iris home from the hospital, taught her how to swaddle, how to burp, how to tell the difference between hungry cries and tired cries. We didn't talk about Thanksgiving, didn't talk about the letter, didn't talk about the will or the money or any of it. We just focused on Iris. Cade thanked me every day. I don't know what we'd do without you. I smiled. Didn't say, you wanted me gone. Didn't say, you got what you wanted. Just smiled. On the 13th day, Bryn and I finally talked. Iris was sleeping. Cade was at work. We sat at the kitchen table with coffee. Mom, I'm sorry. I know. I mean it. I was cruel. I was wrong. I've spent 4 months hating myself. Good. She flinched. I sighed. Bryn, you hurt me. Badly. And I need you to understand that. I do. Do you? Because you wanted me gone. So I left. And now you want me back because you need help with the baby. That's not the same as wanting me. She started crying. I always wanted you. I was just angry and stupid and you said what you meant in that moment. And I heard it and I can't unhear it. So what does that mean? You're never going to forgive me? I looked at her, really looked at her. My daughter, exhausted, scared, trying. I forgive you, I said quietly, but I don't trust you yet. How do I fix that? Time, effort. Showing up when you don't need something. She nodded. I can do that. We'll see. We sat in silence. Are you coming back? Moving back here? She asked. No, her face fell. I'm staying in Hawaii. I built a life there. I have friends. I'm happy. But what about Iris? I'll visit once a month. You can video call me, send pictures, I'll be here, but I'm not giving up my life again. Again? I gave up everything for you, Bryn. My dreams, my time, my money. And it was never enough. So now I'm choosing me. She cried harder. I don't want you to choose between us. I'm not. I'm choosing both, but I'm choosing me first. She wiped her eyes, nodded. Okay. Okay. 2 days later, I flew back to Maui. Greta picked me up from the airport. How was it? Hard, good. Complicated. Are you glad you went? Yes. Are you glad you came back? I looked at her. Yes. She smiled. Good. That night, I sat on my balcony, looked at photos of Iris on my phone. My granddaughter, named after my mother, perfect and tiny and loved. I'd see her again in 3 weeks. And then again and again. But I'd always come back here, to my small condo, my quiet life, my second act. Because I'd spent 72 years being someone's mother, daughter, nurse, caretaker. Now I was just Felicity. And that was enough. 6 months later, Bryn called. Mom, I need to tell you something. My stomach clenched. What's wrong? Is Iris okay? She's fine. Everyone's fine. I need to say this. Okay. Thank you. For what? For leaving. I blinked. What? When you left, I was furious. I thought you were cruel and petty and punishing me. I was punishing you. I know, and I deserved it. But it also made me realize I'd been treating you like you owed me your life. Like your job was to fix everything for me. And when you left, I had to figure things out myself. And did you? Mostly. Kate and I went to counseling. We made a budget. I learned to ask for help without demanding it. I learned that needing someone and respecting someone are two different things. I didn't say anything. I'm better now, she continued, because you left. Because you showed me that love isn't about sacrificing yourself. It's about choosing each other. And I wasn't choosing you, I was using you. My eyes filled with tears. Yeah, you were. I'm sorry, and I'm trying to do better. I hope you see that. I do. Good. Because Iris is asking for her grandma. I smiled. Put her on. I heard rustling, then Iris's tiny voice. Gamma? Hi, baby. I miss you. I miss you too. I'll see you next week. Okay, love you. Love you too. Bryn came back on. She talks about you constantly. Good. When are you coming to visit? Next Thursday. I'll stay for 5 days. And then back to Hawaii. And then back to Hawaii. She didn't argue, just said, okay, we'll be ready. We hung up. I sat on the balcony, looked at the ocean. My daughter had apologized. Meant it. Changed. My granddaughter loved me, and I was still living in Hawaii, still choosing myself. It wasn't perfect, but it was real. And that was enough. The second act club met that Thursday. I told them everything. So you forgave her? Shira asked. I'm forgiving her. It's a process. And you're still staying here? Yes. Good, Paloma said. You deserve your own life. Greta raised her glass up, to Felicity, who taught us all that you can love someone and still choose yourself. We all drank. That night, I walked on the beach, watched the sunset, listened to the waves. I thought about the last year, the pain, the anger, the leaving, the coming back. All of it had been necessary, because Bryn needed to learn I wasn't hers to use, and I needed to learn I wasn't hers to lose. I was my own person, with my own life, my own dreams, my own second act, and I wasn't giving that up for anyone, not even my daughter, especially not my daughter, because the best gift I ever gave her wasn't money or time or sacrifice. It was boundaries. And the best gift I ever gave myself was the courage to enforce them. I walked back to my condo, made tea, sat on the balcony. My phone buzzed. A photo from Bryn, Iris in a yellow dress, smiling. She wanted you to see her outfit for next week. I smiled, texted back. Beautiful, can't wait to see her. Then I set my phone down, looked at the ocean, breathed. This was my life now, split between two places, two loves, two versions of myself, the mother and the woman. And for the first time in 72 years, I was okay with that. More than okay. I was happy. If you've ever been told the best gift you could give someone is to disappear, know this. Your worth isn't determined by how much people want you around when it's convenient for them. Sometimes the most loving thing you can do is choose yourself, set boundaries, and let people learn what your presence actually meant. To anyone rebuilding after betrayal or wondering if you're being selfish for protecting your peace, you're not. You're being wise. What lesson hit you hardest from Felicity's story? And if you were in her shoes, what would you have done differently? Your next story is waiting. Don't stop here. Click the next video on your screen right now and watch another powerful story from our channel. You won't regret it. And before you go, hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications so you never miss a story like this. Drop your thoughts in the comments below. I read every single one. Tell me where you're watching from and what decision you would have made. See you in the next one.